As a parent, you take it all on your shoulders. You are carrying the crisis.
They don't need the help tomorrow or in 12 months' time or in 18 months' time. They need the support now.
I have a shed load of aspirations for my son. None of the services share the same aspirations. But, you know, I'll keep battling them because that's my priority, even if I'm the only one in his corner. Let me keep going for you, yeah? Yeah? Yeah.
Special educational needs services in England are in crisis. With demand skyrocketing, cash-strapped local authorities spend millions delaying children's access to appropriate education, losing nearly 99% of resulting tribunals.
Children with special educational needs and disabilities are being failed. I'm determined to raise standards for every child.
I have a vested interest in this myself. I am going through that system. It's a complete mess. I find myself overwhelmed most of the time and helpless and frustrated and depressed. So I'm heading around the country to meet other families in a similar situation to my own, to get a sense of the scope of this problem. This is a story that's sort of gaining traction around the media, but one group whose voices we've not really heard enough from is that of the children. I'm in Bristol to meet Tamara, a 12-year-old with multiple SEND diagnoses who has been out of school for 2 years.
My room. I have my swing.
Wow!
When I wake up, in the middle of the day, after lunch, I will always be on this.
You're just swinging.
Yes.
A lot of children at the moment of your age would be in a lesson, maybe maths or something like that. Something, and do you do any of that sort of thing?
Not really. I'm not really doing home ed at all. I do feel a bit behind, which I do worry about, because it's a big deal missing almost 2 years of school. But in the end, I think I will be fine.
Are you able to tell me, particularly towards the end of when you were at school, how did it feel for you?
Every lesson felt like it was sort of crushing me. It wasn't just the lessons and what happened in the lessons, it was the entire place. So in the end it was just physically impossible for me to go in because of the amount of stress that it was just to step in that place.
And I don't know if you can recall kind of your last few days perhaps, or right at the end of school where things were, I suppose things were very difficult.
Yeah. And I was just sitting there like, I have utterly no idea what's going on. I have no idea what they're even talking about. And it was so overwhelming that everyone was just being like, this was totally normal. They totally understood this. And it literally sounded like gibberish to me. And I remember feeling like there was like, sort of the walls were closing in on me. And everything was getting so much louder and so much bigger. And I just had a massive breakdown on the table and ended up walking myself out.
It sounds incredibly stressful and scary.
Yeah, and that happening almost every single day. But that was just worse. And I decided, while I was sitting out in the playground, probably decided that I just couldn't go back in anymore.
It's got a filming crew.
Tamara has recently had a place at a specialist school confirmed for next year. But the impact of 2 years fighting for an education have taken their toll on single parent Caroline.
I've at times wondered how we were going to survive week to week, day to day, how I was going to pull this off, because it all comes back to you as a parent and you feel like, you've fallen off the edge of the earth. We just have to get up every day and act like this is normal, even though it really, really isn't.
Being stuck in this failing system can be hugely isolating, but communities of SEND parents, often pitted against each other in the battle over insufficient resources, have sprung up all over the country.
It's all about helping and supporting and seeing where the parents are kind of losing it a little bit.
I'm visiting one such group in Manchester's Moss Side. Do you feel judged by society?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it doesn't change. On one of his t-shirts it says, keep staring, you might cure my autism, then we can work on your social skills. And when people see that, they're like, you know.
The impact on the family is so huge, and I just wondered how you cope.
So I am a medical doctor, And I've had to give all of that up because of my son. I have a very supportive husband. Between the two of us, I'm on the higher side on the earning. In our culture, it's the mom who has to look after the son. It's a lot of pressure from my dad, especially, because like, oh, well, I put you through school all these years, and now... I also have family to support back home in Africa, and I'm not able to do that because, again, my son comes first, but they don't understand why I go through all of that training and have all that qualification and not be able to work for 4 years now.
So many of us as parents who have careers and jobs, and we are contributing to society, we want to, and then you even get somebody that's shocked to hear, you're a doctor? Oh my God. We've got teachers, doctors, we've got business people.
You speak with an accent and they look at you as though your English is an additional language. You've just stepped off a boat yesterday.
Aren't you articulate?
I know.
For me, it felt like a real battle, and it's continuing to feel like a battle. The point at which we started being listened to by schools, when I went into a meeting and cried, and they were like, oh, the dad's crying. Well, it must be bad.
It must be bad.
Is that just my privilege?
No,
is that... Because people go, okay, you know, there's a sort of reasonably
privilege.
educated white man talking, we'll listen.
Well, we get called aggressive because you do when you're the black parent. But at the end of the day, the only time that we speak up, speak out, get loud is because there's something painful happening in our families, and that is having an impact on us and all of our children. But we've got to put the best outside, speak articulately, not raise our voices, and we're managing all of that while trying to get our son or daughter ready and out of the house.
For many parents, simply being listened to, believed and understood seems an obvious, reasonable expectation.
No worries.
Ria Koo advises and advocates for vulnerable children stuck in the SEN system.
We have to have a real clear model of early intervention, teaching parents how to advocate for themselves and spot the warning signs early.
I'm child locked in, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'll get you out.
Ria has been supporting Yemsi and her family whilst they navigate the tribunal process.
It seems to be that the system is, if you've got the means, the tenacity, like to be able to keep going and keep pushing, you will eventually get what you need, because at the end of the day, the law's the law.
Well, the information is kept from us as parents, right?
Yeah.
Because it buys more time.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
I found it really hard doing this whole process, because often you have professionals talking about a human being who has value and worth, and they're being reduced to behaviours and labels. And honestly, I could talk all day about the benefits of having someone with additional needs in your family. Like, they are not a burden. They have so much value. None of us are going, oh, we want someone to make our lives easy. Like, no one's asking for that. We're just asking for the support that our kids not only need, but like that is their legal right.
For too many, accessing and maintaining such rights are a constant battle, with some of the most tenacious parents doing what they can to keep the fight in the public eye.
Our children didn't cause the bankruptcy. It's completely unjust that we should be suffering the consequences of the failure of this council.
I'm in Birmingham to meet Sabir Aziz, a SEN parent and campaigner who is battling against Europe's biggest local authority, one of several in England that has declared bankruptcy.
Oh, there we have John Coughlin going in.
Okay.
The SEN Commissioner.
Oh, we should have just grabbed him.
I should have just grabbed him. John! Hello!
Keen to chat?
They're never keen to chat to me.
I bet they're not. There are a number of councils in absolute crisis, but this really is one of them.
Oh, absolutely. So we have 60,000 SEN families in Birmingham. We have 11,500 EHCPs. We're talking about massive numbers. Now you're taking more support away from those services. It's leaving SEND families in crisis, and I'm not being dramatic in saying that.
I can't make a head nor tail of
No.
it. I'm totally overwhelmed with all of the options, but also all of the paperwork, all of the difficulties, all the different things. And it seems like it's designed in that way to make it as difficult as possible for people to access.
Absolutely. The whole thing is an absolute nightmare to navigate for parents. There's some research that I looked into recently where it stated that 40% of SEND parent carers have thought about suicide. They think that's the only resort that's left to them. This is, you know, one of the richest countries in the world. How are SEND parents getting to that state? It's unforgivable.
For a glimpse of hope, you often have to step away from the system itself and into the world of private funding. I'm in Stockport to meet Alana. She's had a lot of struggles with school and is now thriving outside of the mainstream.
Right, what have we got here? C-square. You're flying through this. I think we need to get you some more tricky work. No. So if a child is refusing to go to school, what is actually behind it? You know, let's look underneath the surface here. It's not because they're being lazy or defiant or oppositional. There's something really wrong.
What do you say to people who would say, well, secondary school's meant to be challenging, it's meant to be a bit of a culture shock, it's meant to kind of throw you?
Yeah, it is supposed to be hard, but not hard to the point where you're not wanting to go in, and then from the night time you're panicking about the morning, then the morning you're trying to run away from school and not wanting to go in the gates. If I look at my school books now, what I'm doing, back at school I was probably just writing the date, but now my books are kind of full.
Yeah, that's brilliant, well done. Right, okay, what about this one?
Despite struggling to be heard by her local authority, Alana has been able to slowly rebuild her confidence, something her mum Kirsty doesn't take for granted.
None of them will kick you.
Okay, that's good.
So this is a confidence thing as well. She wouldn't have done this a few months ago. I think the tutoring helped massively.
Yeah.
Not all parents can do that. Financially they can't do that. We're fortunate that we can do that.
Do you hold out any hope that this will be something that the government will get to grips with?
There has to be a strategy. We cannot wait 5 years, 10 years to get that support for the children, because by that time they are adults, they are adolescents, and the struggles they face at school will be the struggles that continue to stay with them. We should have intervened at an early age and helped these people. They are our future.
On the one hand, Alana's family have resources, they have a way out of this situation. I think it just goes to show that there's such diversity amongst families and amongst different SEND cases, but ultimately, whatever place you are in this system, you're being failed.